Okay, just broken for lunch at the Undercover Policing Inquiry, Tranche 3, Phase 1, Day 1. Just going live on uh, TikTok as well. We just spent the morning hearing from David Barr KC, the Counsel to the Inquiry at the Undercover Policing Inquiry. He continued his introduction, the opening statements on the Tranche 3 hearings. Introducing Dave Hangan, HM123, who would not even know the cover name of, and Christine Green, cover name Christine Green, was the female undercover officer who ends up having a sexual relationship with an activist called Thomas Frampton. She ends up leaving the Metropolitan Police and her husband in order to be with him. Slightly different, as well as Mark Jenner, cover name Mark Cassidy, who deceived Alison into a long-term intimate relationship. You may remember that Alison was one of the women who was featured in the ITV documentary Undercover Love and Lives Exposed, which was shown, a three-part documentary shown earlier this year. That featured a lot of home video that she'd made, featuring Mark Jenner. It was referred to by David Barr, saying that it would be used for forensic purposes by the inquiry, and that it displayed the nature of the undercover cops' abuses in a way in which mere words cannot, which I think is totally true to anybody who's seen that footage. If you've not seen those documentaries, I really recommend you do so. They're all available on the ITVX player. Not a great deal that was new from the opening statements. It's always a bit of a almost like a bit of theatre. I mean, so much of the inquiry is a bit like theatre, but these opening statements, they sort of set the scene. They give you an idea of what's going to come up. This opening statement was available in written form. A lot of the times when lawyers give their opening statements in written form before actually delivering it to the inquiry, there's a big difference between what they put in those written statements and what they actually say. That's not the case with David Barr. They follow very, very directly. There's no sort of confusion about what features within it. I recommend, if you want to follow it in any sort of close, rather than just sitting through the video, check out that document. I've shared it on Twitter. I'll share it elsewhere, I'm sure. It includes very extensive appendices on the rest of the who's appearing, what we can expect from them, the undercover officers, the civilian witnesses, and so forth. What sort of the nature and the shape of the rest of these hearings will be. Not a huge amount to add really from what was said. There were some quite funny moments where David Barr KC kind of referred to how the integrity of the officer was in question. Just essentially, reminding everybody that these people are professional liars, that, you can't trust a bloody word they say, quite frankly. I've dispensed with going live on Instagram. I found that was just one too many. I've stuck with going live on TikTok as well as putting it on Facebook. I'm not sure if Facebook is the best place to put it. TikTok is just something I haven't used before. I might go on Instagram at the end of the day, and not on TikTok at that point, because I think I can only do one at a time really. Trying to do three at once was just a bit much. If anybody's got any advice about kind of going live on multiple streams at the same time, please let me know. I'd be interested to hear good tips and tricks. As ever, I'm trying to cover all these hearings by myself, just using really basic sort of knowledge of social media. So I post updates as they happen on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now, and then do these videos during the breaks. We will be back at 2 p.m. We'll be hearing from some lawyers for the police. That'll be starting off with Peter Skelton, KC, who is representing the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, so the Met Police one, followed by Nia Sheldon from the Home Office, and then Oliver Sanders, KC, representing the undercover officers themselves. Those of you who follow my coverage regularly will know that I have nothing but contempt for Oliver Saunders, and I have nothing much else apart from contempt for the other lawyers as well. Unlike David Barr, who represents the inquiry and is essentially supposedly neutral in these matters, though I'm sure he is still a member of the establishment. These others are very much seeking to promote the views of either the police forces, the Home Office, or the actual individual officers themselves. That means that what they have to say is often very distasteful. I think this afternoon's updates from me will be quite markedly different from what I've had to say this morning, simply because, they're going to come out with some right bullshit and really attempt to, defend the indefensible. So yeah, look out for that. There is a different YouTube link for this afternoon's broadcast. I'll put it on my Twitter. I'm not sure how to share it on TikTok. I'm pretty new to TikTok. I haven't really used it much. I'll put them in the Facebook group as well, if you want to follow that. Just if you want to find any of this stuff, we've relaunched the website. That's spycops.info. It's really easy to go. Yeah, you can go on there and find out, find links to all this stuff. It also features all the episodes of the podcast that we do fairly regularly. I hope to do some more podcasts. At the end of today, I'll be doing Twitter Spaces, an audio version of the updates of the day. So yeah, tune in for that if you're interested. If anyone's got any questions or anything else they want to know, please get in touch. And I'll be back at 2 p.m. For the more of the inquiry. I'll do another one of these videos during the break and one at the end of the day. Thanks for joining. Okay.